After the 2025 Twitch Streamer Awards that happened just a few days ago, Fanfan got in a lot of trouble and backlash because she made a joke where she compared Kai Cenat to Diddy, and apparently a lot of people took offense to that and said it wasn't funny and that it was racist. Well, there's a lot of updates about that, and we're about to see it. But in case you live under a rock and you're not aware of this, let's start with the original clip and what happened at the Streamer Awards.
This year, as everyone knows, you broke the record for the most expensive haircut and the least educational university. So congratulations to you, and also congrats on your new documentary with 50 Cent. That was you, right?
If you all gonna be on the mic making jokes, at least let it be funny.
So Fanfan made a joke where she says that he got the most expensive haircut of all time. LeBron James gave Kai Cenat the haircut.
What? Stop panicking.
So either that or that it completely changed his image. We know when we look at Kai Cenat, we used to identify him with the longer hair, and now he looks different. And then it became a joke in his own community that he looks like Diddy. I don't think he looks like Diddy, but that's apparently what his own community thinks. Therefore, at the Streamer Awards, Fanfan was just cracking jokes around, and this one kind of felt tasteless, to be honest. Even I didn't feel it was right, and I'm all for comedy and say whatever you want. But the main problem is that it didn't come from his own community that is very much aware of that and part of that joke, that running joke on his streams. And then on top of that, the way his friend reacted to it, of course, made it blow out of proportion. Many people saying that this was racist.
If you all gonna be on the mic making jokes, at least let it be funny.
Now, if you ask me, I wouldn't say that Fanfan is racist because she made this joke. I think that's a little too much. It was tasteless. Yes, maybe she shouldn't have made that joke. Comedy is not illegal. You can make jokes. It's completely fine. But maybe that joke wasn't the right joke in that moment or coming from the right person. I think just saying you got the most expensive haircut would be fine. But when you jump to you look like Diddy, well, nobody wants to be compared to Diddy. That's pretty obvious. Now, of course, the people who defend Fanfan are saying, well, he started that joke. It was his friends on his stream and then his own community. And the people that are against her are saying that she just made a racist joke, a racist statement. But that's not the end, because she hit us with this response video where she kind of clarifies what she meant by it and what she thought it was going to be, and that it wasn't really a racist statement.
I don't see it as racist. I've seen a lot of comments saying that it was racist. Listen, I've said a lot of racist shit in my life, and that was not one of them. That was definitely not racist.
And right off the bat, she starts with a lot of honesty. She's saying, look, in the past, I've said racist stuff that obviously she regrets. That was not one of them. That was not my intention with this joke. It was taken out of context. And of course, it flopped and nobody laughed about it. And then the fact that his friend made a big deal out of it made it way worse for her.
It was like, it came from a running joke. It just shouldn't have come from me, and I had bad delivery.
And then she continues with exactly what I was talking about. It was a running joke in his community. The problem is that she was the one delivering it. Somebody that, of course, doesn't look like Kai Cenat, that is not part of his community on Twitch, and also that you don't want to be compared to Diddy. That's the main problem. Nobody wants to be compared to somebody who was not a good person.
But also, I saw people saying like, well, one thing that I think is that I should have read the room and pivoted. You know, I've seen a lot of people commenting that as well. Like people who are more logical. They were saying if she noticed noticing how the crowd was reacting and noticing how Kai was reacting, she should have pivoted.
And I know she's about to hit us with, but this happened. But I do agree with these people. I think that if you want to practice comedy, you have to read the room. It's something that comedians do, and when they flop is because they haven't read the room right. You look at Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, or really any comedian in the world, and it's pretty obvious that when their jokes don't land, it's because they're not reading the crowd right. They're not seeing what lands right with the crowd. The problem with this is that you have your crowd in person at the Streamer Awards, but on top of that, they're streaming it to thousands of people all over the world. So you got to deal with two crowds, one that you can't really react to. And because all of these jokes are usually scripted, I don't even know if she wrote this. She's probably not going to tell us. But most of the time when it's such a big show, she's probably not the one writing this joke. Maybe she should have read the room a little better before dropping this joke. but let's see how she explains it.
But then again, like I could say that, but like in the moment, I couldn't. In the moment, I was so fucking nervous, and I was already awake for like 26 hours, and I was just fucking dead, and I was helping out a lot behind the scenes, and I just like could not focus. I was genuinely just fucking reading.
And there we go. She explains it. It was scripted. And in the moment, she was very nervous. And I can testify, I think anybody can, that this makes complete sense. A lot of times you prepare, you do a presentation in school or business or whatever, and it's not the same when you're preparing it, when you're in the shower, you know, washing your armpits and preparing that speech, and this is going to go so well, and I'm going to say this and that, and then you're out there and you're actually in front of the crowd and you panic. And the best thing you can do in that situation to not completely flop is just going with the script. And she's explaining that that's exactly what she did, which makes sense. The problem is that somebody who is a little more savvy in that comedy business would be able to quickly pivot to something else, but she's a streamer. That's not her thing, which brings us back again to the main problem of maybe this should have been delivered by a comedian. Well, let's say you bring up Dave Chappelle up there and he makes that joke. There's another problem you're running into. That is somebody who is older. That is somebody who doesn't fit the Twitch demographic, even YouTube demographic. So it is somebody who's going to be out of touch. And maybe even if that joke lands, which probably wouldn't have, because it's still the same, just as offensive as it would be coming from her. But even if the joke lands, it's still going to feel out of touch and kind of like fake, because it's somebody that's not really used to that community on Twitch or what's going on in Twitch culture. And on top of that, on Twitch culture, you have very different cultures in every single streamer's community. Same with YouTube or really any other major content creator. So there's a lot that's going into this. And I think going into the future, they should just tone down the jokes or make better jokes and just avoid problems like this one.
I was like, there was a teleprompter on the camera, so I was just fucking reading off of my script, which I wrote, by the way, in case you guys take that out of context again. My script, which I wrote.
Okay, so she finishes the video by telling us it was her own script, but she was reading off the teleprompter on the camera, and she just simply panicked. I think it's just a really bad situation. It kind of sucks for everyone involved. Now, I've been reading a bunch of comments now on social media, on subreddits, his own community, and on clips that I get about this on X and stuff. And I would say for the most part, what people are thinking is pretty much what I've said so far. People don't think she meant it with racist intent. This was a running joke in the community. It is a bad joke that flopped, and then his own friends just overreacted. It's just a crappy situation overall. There's not much you can do about it. It already happened. I think her explanation went above and beyond. She explained how it happened, that it wasn't her intention, and you can tell that it's not fake because from the very beginning, she was like, yeah, I've said racist stuff in the past that it's pretty obvious that she regrets now, and this wasn't one of them. It is a person who is genuinely trying to do better and simply was taken out of context here in the internet doing the internet thing where everyone is bad. And it is so annoying because you always see it on both sides. You see the people that say Kai Cenat and his friends suck because they think they're the best and you can't joke about them. And on the other side, you got the people that are saying that she's racist. So I think the best thing we can do here is just listen to both sides and just calm down, people. It's not that deep. She didn't do this with racist intent. If she had done that, it would be a big deal, and she would be a crappy person for doing that, and definitely wouldn't have been a funny joke, but she didn't. So hats off to her for saying this, for explaining what happened. Maybe next time, make a better joke. As always, let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new around here, you can click right here to subscribe, and I'll be seeing you in this video that I created just for you right after this one. Until next time, bye.